On this game chat, we're talking all about Star Overdrive on Nintendo Switch. So Star Overdrive was originally shown off at the Partner Showcase back in August 2024, and then was featured in the sizzle reel in the Nintendo Direct of March 2025 and released on April 10th of 2025. We got these codes to check out the game from the PR company representing the indie developer Caracal Games and publisher Dear Villagers. So in Star Overdrive, you play Bios, and this is a guy who's been stranded on this foreign planet, and your ship is destroyed. But thankfully, you have your trusty keytar and your hoverboard, and so you set off on this high-speed adventure, navigating biomes, confronting lots of challenges, evolving your powers, and solving the mystery behind your beloved Nuos's disappearance. Along the way, you're going to speed through this huge landscape that honestly reminds me a lot of Zelda games. You're going to be performing tricks on your hoverboard, engage in intense battle sequences with enemies of all different sizes and power levels. And similar to Zelda as well, you'll encounter puzzle-based areas through 4 distinct biomes. You can customize your hoverboard's appearance and upgrade it through crafting mechanics. That's honestly a little confusing at the moment. In fact, there are a handful of things in this game that I feel that are confusing currently. We know an update is on the way that will be fixing some of these things. But right now, I just want to hear what your experience has been like, Barry.
Yeah, so it's a game that I've been really excited for a long time. I got to demo it as a really early build, and I thought it was impressive what they were going for. So when every time I saw it, I felt it just got more and more impressive. And when we finally got codes, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to boot this up and see what it's like." And I thought that it was insane how like the level of what they were able to create with just a 3-person team. I thought the story was interesting. It starts off, you're in the ship and you get the distress signal and you're looking for your girlfriend, and you want to crash landing, and you get a little note from her, like a hologram note, and it's saying, like, "Oh, this, I need your help. Come find me, and here's the hoverboard that you gave me." Because it's actually her hoverboard he winds up giving her prior to. So you're going along the landscape, and the story then is told in cassette tapes where you hear her log, and you hear her backstory and everything that's happening on the planet prior to your arrival, as well as some holograms and stuff like that. And I like that because it kind of lets the character learn the story the same time as you, as opposed to you getting a scene of the villain or whatever doing their thing, and then he comes back to the hero, and now you're privy to knowledge that the hero has no idea about. And it's like, "Oh no, don't trust that. Don't trust that person." Oh, you're trusting that person because the story, you don't have the knowledge I do. Here, you don't. You have the exact same knowledge that the protagonist does, and I like that. I thought the skating around on your hoverboard felt fluid and it felt nice, at first. What got me was the controls originally, because it's like a legacy controls. Like if you push back, you walk back as opposed to just turning back and running.
Mm-hmm.
That was jarring
Mm.
and took a while for me to get used to. However, I can say in the update coming up, it will be more normal where you push back and you just turn back. It's going to be more 360 controls. Um, and because we were both played this before that update,
Mm-hmm.
that's our experience. So if you're watching this after that update, you're like, "Well, now just run around and it's fine." Um, then you're going to get that better experience, or at least a different experience. Getting to the tower, the first thing I did was I was like, "Let me follow one of these cables," and I just followed one all the way till I found a lake, and I was like, "I can't go in the lake."
Yeah.
I was like, "Am I not supposed to do that?" And I realized I was following the wrong cable. Wound up finding the right cable, going up the tower, all that stuff, and the map opens up. I'm like, "Oh, this is very Zelda," and it's like, "Oh, you have to go to these specific, let's call them shrines.
Yeah.
They're shrines, really."
Yeah.
And get powers, and that they were really well designed, and I had fun with them. And I did that tower. I went through. Then it turns into a cannon and it launched me to the next area. And you can do some races. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I started doing the trick system. So once you start, jumping off, as you're skating around or hovering around and using the analog stick to do all these tricks, and you land and you get that boost, and I'm like, oh, now this is fun, and I start just cruising.
Mhm.
And as big as the world is, and it is a big world, it does start to feel a little small as you start to upgrade your board. But then I hit my first big hurdle, which was the shrine where you get the extra jumping power. So this power is awesome. All right, so when you jump, you don't have a double jump. You jump, and it's like you have a hover jump, like your hoverboard helps you. So your base jump is actually higher than the standard jump of a game, but that's what you get. And this power lets you put a pad wherever you want on the ground, and when you walk on it or land on it, it will bounce you, and that you could then bounce from that. So you could jump onto it, it could then bounce you higher, and then you can still jump midair with the hovercraft. The hovercraft will propel you. And I'm like, oh, that's cool because that allows me to traverse. But when you go into the shrine to get the powers, you got to complete the shrine to get out. And that shrine was brilliantly designed, but also frustratingly designed because you have a lake in the middle or a body of water, and you have two sides, and you have to you know climb on one side. You bounce over the water but you could put the pads in the water, bounce into the water to the next side, and you keep going higher and higher. And the idea is you're falling from more momentum when from the higher things, so you bounce higher too. It is a physics thing, but you're also getting farther apart from the other side. So it got to the point where I would bounce and have to get up, and I would have to look down and fire another one below me and land on it. And I don't know if that's the way I was supposed to do it or not. But what happened is there's no checkpoints.
Mhm.
So the way it works is if you die, you go back to the last like solid ground you were on.
Yeah.
So if you accidentally land on the other side, you got to go back up. So if you land like 2 levels down, you got to go back up to the point you were at. So I would purposely make it so that I knew if I failed my jump, I had enough momentum to get back to that center of water and drown myself to get back. And I felt I shouldn't have had to do that. On top of that, when aiming this platform that you want to make, use the right analog stick, which is fine. But the problem is the right analog stick also moves the camera. So if you want to do it below the ledge you're on or really close to the ledge you're on, it's almost impossible because the camera doesn't go over it. It's like
Uh,
the ledge blocks your view. So the game thinks you want to put it on the ledge. It doesn't go through the ledge. So I told the dev, and hopefully they do it in an update for something where you can maybe hold a trigger and just move that pad thing around without moving the camera, something like that. But I was ready to tear my hair out, which is saying a lot, and I managed to finally win it. Now I didn't get the extra chest like Breath of the Wild; these shrines have extra chests, but I did it. I beat it. I was like, phew. So the next thing I encountered was a race that I had to do, and I just kept falling short. I kept. So I had to upgrade my board, and this led to problem number two. There's a ton of materials you collect to upgrade your board, but they don't tell you what any of them do.
no.
So I went looking for a guide so I didn't waste my materials. I couldn't find one, and I wound up getting in contact with the developer, which leads to an industry talk that we have coming out as well. Um, so he gave me some tips for crafting, such as it doesn't matter that you got soft, hard, and I think it's tech. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter which one of those you do. You could do whatever you want, but the more the merrier. But then like alien, like depending on the part you want, there's like a primary stat and then a secondary stat. And if you use alien, it will like split the secondary stat amongst multiple stats. And then if you use gravitanium or gravitanium or whatever, that will give your piece an ability to go over a new piece of land, whether it be water, whether it be muck, whether it be metal, or whatever. Like it's random what it gives you, but
Hmm.
I didn't know that. So I was like, oh my God, that's helpful. So I went back, I
Yeah.
upgraded my board. Now I can go over water. Now I can go on metal. Now the black sludge doesn't slow me down. I'm like, oh,
Nice.
this is fantastic. And I beat the race, and I get to the first boss, and the boss was fun. It's a typical, you have to hit it 3 times, but what's really nice, and I thank the dev for this, is there's checkpoints. Every time you damage the boss, it stays. So if you hit it the first time of the third, and then you die, you don't have to do that first third. You start with it sitting at 66% health.
Wow.
I like that. That
Yep.
is very, very awesome. Especially in a case like this where it is a fast paced boss, and all the bosses are. The world is huge. It's a lot of fun. This update that's coming will help make things a little more clear, and I think that's the only negative I can really say is this lack of clarity with some things. But the level of exploration, I have had so much fun going through the world. I've had so much fun exploring, finding little shrines, doing the hunting grounds, just going through and just discovering and seeing what's puzzles are there, and learning the story bit by bit, because there's some darker undertones to the story that start coming out, and it's not what it seems, and there's a mystery to this planet. So I've talked a lot. Steve, your experience.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to like uh, how you discover what's going on. Like you said, like through the cassette tapes and things like that. And so, another game that it kind of reminds me about. It's definitely got Zelda like undertones for sure. That's kind of obvious, but it also kind of reminds me of No Man's Sky in the way where you feel alone in this world and you're discovering things here and there, and that's kind of the feeling you feel in this, and it fits. Like I felt confused, but I was like, I guarantee my character is very confused at this moment too, and so I felt connected with him in that way. But the other confusing parts, like you talked about the crafting and things like that, was like I have these things, I don't know what to do with them. I can How much do I put in there? Like what do I put together? If I want more speed, do I put hard, soft? I don't know. I'm just gonna throw things in there and I'm gonna add more to it. Oh, look, I used it all, and this I think I know what it did. I don't really know. That was confusing. And then kind of figuring out the overall, like the point in the beginning is confusing, but that matched with the character because he's trying to figure out what's going on as well. So that wasn't as jarring as the crafting itself. Um, but there was some other things as well that may get fixed in future. I don't know. But there's a few like areas, because this is a very open world game. I decided to just have some fun at the very beginning of the game, and I went backwards. So once I got the ability to like hover with my hoverboard and turn it into like a boost thing, I just went backwards and was like, how far can I climb up these things? And I ended up climbing over the edge, and then you just drop to the water down below. And sometimes, as you said, when it reboots and puts you on the last known ledge, sometimes that's not a very good place. And so there was a couple times where I got stuck and I just kept dying over and over and over again because it would reset me in a place that I couldn't recover from unless I was right on the ball as soon as it restarted. And so I just like, oh, look, I'm falling again. Oh, look, I'm falling again. And so I'd hold the stick like in the opposite direction and hit the jump button and pray for the best. And I was able to get out of it, thankfully. It wasn't just an endless loop, but things like that are like, this could be tweaked a little bit. Again, this is a 3-man indie team. Like the scope of this thing is amazing. So slight oversights like that, I can overlook because I was also going in places that I wasn't really probably supposed to be at at that point in the game. I was just exploring. So yeah, it's been fun. There's different like Barry and I had this conversation offline. But one of the enemies I was able to like latch onto, and I had no idea how to beat him. Like it's not very clear on how you actually beat some of these enemies, and so I just kept riding him around and around and around and around, and going, I don't know if I'm ever going to be actually putting any damage on this guy. And so I had to ask Barry. I was like, how do you actually I'd actually beat him because I was just riding him for forever. And so those are some things that I wish would be a little more clear. Like I get that this is a foreign planet that you don't know anything about and all that sort of thing, but it's still a video game. Like, like so they hold my hand just a little bit more to kind of walk me through this so I can get it, instead of just being completely lost in some aspects. But overall, I've really enjoyed this game. It definitely, like I said multiple times, we've said multiple times, it gives me Zelda vibes a lot.
Oh
It's like a
yeah.
sci-fi Zelda kind of game, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's a like you said, it's just a little bit of clarity would go a long way.
Mhm.
You do have multiple powers. There's six different powers you can get out. So think of like the Sheikah Slate in Breath of the Wild is the best way to compare it.
Yeah.
Where you have the different powers. You get a magnet power where you could pick up things or enemies and throw them. You get like a rocket power where you can shoot rockets as projectiles. You get like the jump power I was talking about. You get a charm power where you could charm enemies and have them attack you, and some puzzles require you to use them. There's just a lot of variety, and you get that all outside with the ability to use those all outside to your whim. Um, the exploration for towers I thought was really cool because they start off pretty easy, and then some of them are in really difficult spots.
Mhm.
The terrain, I started going north, and that was probably a mistake. I should have went south because south is a little bit easier,
Yeah.
and then I went south, and I was like, oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff south to go explore. So I
Yeah.
went and did that, and I thought it was interesting the way the north is designed, where it's like you have all these tall walls, and you start off in these like almost like canals at the
Mhm.
base, and you could eventually climb your way up there. And then this, you could still fall down the canals, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool," and it like makes you feel like you're in a high level area, like
Mhm.
maybe not supposed to be here. You also have a skill tree.
Mhm.
There's a skill tree that you can get points, and you could customize how you want your character to be. There are things locked behind the skill tree that maybe shouldn't be, like the sprint is there, which is getting improved in an update. The teleport to previously unlocked towers is there. I know it's quite high up. The dev said they were going to move it down. But that's the reward for doing these shrines, is you
Yeah.
get these orbs, and like in Zelda, where you could choose either harder stamina, here you can put an upgrade on the skill tree. You could also upgrade your board in addition to the crafting. There's a
That's
stack
true.
called Bond.
Yeah.
I don't know if you messed with Bond at all or not.
Um, I tried to. I wasn't sure exactly what it was doing though.
So bond, the higher bond you have is your bond between you and the hoverboard, and it allows you to bring up a different wheel where you can control the personality of the board, and you could have it like stay by you and fight with you, or be a little more independent, be more defensive, where it'll stay by you and as you attack, it'll protect you from enemy attacks.
Hmm.
And the more bond you have, the more options you have for the AI. You can give it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I never would have thought of the hoverboard acting independently, but
Yeah.
it is a factor in this game that you can actually
Okay.
customize and do. And like, there's a lot. Like the ambition in this game is through the roof.
Yeah.
But again, it's only told me that when I hit certain bond levels. Otherwise, I had no idea
Yeah.
what bond did.
Mhm.
And it would be cool if there was, here's what these stats mean when you get it. Speed does this, boost does this. Even if it's self-explanatory, put it there.
Mhm.
But hopefully someone does write up at least a guide for future players that can look up and see. But these are just our experiences and what we've discovered,
Mhm.
and there's still so much to discover.
Yeah.
Neither of us have beaten the game. It is quite massive for somebody who is not very familiar with the game, and just learning it and giving it time. And I put a good chunk of time in the game. I'm practically at the second boss right now, and I'm having a blast. Just it feels like almost a breath of fresh air.
Mm.
That's just so close to that perfection, that
Mhm.
like, and it's just clarity and a few little tweaks that I think would be good. Like, one of the things I told the dev, and hopefully they implement it, is on the map you can see when you picked up a cassette tape, or a Star Overdrive cassette, which we didn't even mention. There's a whole
That's true.
album you could find
Yeah.
for a band called Star Overdrive, which
the
is
whole
the
the whole
lead
name
dead.
of the game.
The whole name. The lead dev sings, which is really cool. They're all original songs. You can get it on Spotify and stuff, but you could find them in the game, and then you could actually play them while you're,
Mhm.
hovering around, which is cool. But it shows you on the map when you find things with a little check mark. In each of these shrines, there is a hidden chest, just like Zelda. But it only shows you a check that you beat the shrine. There's no indication of if you've got that chest or not.
Mm.
So that's one thing I did bring up with the dev, and hopefully that's something they do implement it. Again, little thing. Is it
Yeah.
the end of the world? No. Do you need these chests? Absolutely not. But it's those little things. But everything else it does show you with a check. You did it on the
Mhm.
map, and it marks it on the map for you, which is really nice.
Yeah.
There's just so much about this game. It is beyond ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the one thing that I'm still trying to figure out is the best way to traverse, because like of course the hoverboard is the way to do it, but also when you're trying to like follow those little, the lines on the ground and everything, I got confused so many times because the hoverboard goes so fast. It's like, which way am I pointing again, or which way am I going? And so like, yeah, I'd appreciate just a little more help in that way in the map and things like that. Again, didn't hurt my experience with the game, but there's like a bunch of little tweaks that would make a quality of life improvements on this game and take it from here to here like really really
Yeah.
quickly. But I think we both still very much enjoy this game, and we'll continue playing it and looking forward to this update. So the standard price of this game is $34.99 in the US. And then they have a deluxe version, which includes 3 additional hoverboard styles, 1 additional hoverboard design, 50 dies for the hoverboard, an original soundtrack, and a digital manga for only $5 more. So that's $39.99 in the US. So standard edition is $34.99, deluxe edition for $39.99, and there's a free demo available as well. So what do you think, Barry? You recommend it?
Honestly, I think I recommend it even at full price for the standard version of the game. I'd say if you like try the demo first and you really like it, then yeah, you can absolutely go for the extra $5 for the other stuff because you're going to enjoy the game anyway. I think the manga there might even be a physical print of it too, which is really cool on Amazon. But yeah, I think at this price you're getting your money's worth for sure. If you enjoy, like if everything we've talked about sounds exciting to you and entertaining to you, and you've watched the trailer and it looks good to you, then yes, I think you're beyond getting your money's worth. If it's on sale, then it's even more of a no-brainer. And if it's one of those that like you don't like Zelda, you play Breath of the Wild and you hated it, and Tears of the Kingdom and you hated it, and you don't like sci-fi, like, you know what? Maybe this isn't the right game for you. But if you enjoy sci-fi, love Zelda, love exploration, love open worlds, love mysteries, then yeah, for $35, you're definitely getting your bang worth out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm totally there with you, Barry, because like, yeah, you're getting a really quality game that like if Nintendo put this out and it was, had the Nintendo polish on it, it cost you 60, $70 for this game.
Easily.
And the fact that you can get it for 35 bucks and have a really solid experience for a long period of time is great. And the fact that the devs are noticing things that need to be upgraded and they're actually putting those things in place really soon, that's great. And so it seems like this game's only going to get better. But yeah, if you're on the fence, there's a free demo. Go check out the demo and see for yourself for sure. But yeah, I think both of us definitely recommend this game. If you enjoy this kind of thing, definitely recommend it. So yeah, we want to thank the developers and publishers, the PR company, all those people who made it possible for us to get codes for this game and check it out. And if you enjoy these sort of things, please be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and also check out NintendoFuse.com. We've got a bunch of articles and reviews and stuff over there as well. And in addition to what we have here on our YouTube channel with game chats, which are a little longer, like this discussion based reviews. We also have solo, just video reviews here, industry talks where we talk with people within the industry, like the people behind Star Overdrive. So if you haven't checked that out yet, hop over on our YouTube channel and check out that interview as well. And thanks, Barry, for joining me today, and we'll catch you guys next time.